Over the last 18 months, we saw and experienced an unprecedented number of layoffs across the tech industry. It was astonishing, followed by layoffs in the banking and financial services industry. These cross-industry layoffs became a proxy sign that the United States was heading into a recession. At least that's what so many people believed. But whether or not we're actually in a recession or heading into one depends on who you ask, especially if they own a business and whether it's doing well or if they have stable employment and income. One thing we all know is true is that interest rates have gone up significantly, rent is more expensive, and home mortgage rates are through the roof. Inflation has also caused a cash crunch, which has made us reprioritize our needs and our wants. Owing to the effects of high inflation and a looming recession, there's a lot of anxiety surrounding stable employment and what the right career path should be, especially one that is immune to a recession. A recession-proof career path will guarantee stable employment and income for a lot of people, irrespective of how the economy is doing. People are also concerned about what industries to get into, as well as what industries to avoid in the event of a recession. In this video, I will evaluate a career path that is fully recession-proof. This career path is known as supply chain management. But before we dive into the details of supply chain management, how about we do a simple definition first? Supply chain management is the management of the flow of goods and services in one direction and the flow of information in the opposite direction to ensure the delivery of a product at its final destination. Supply chain management also encompasses reverse logistics to aid product returns. And that is why, for example, Amazon has all those drop boxes and return boxes around major cities. It is part of supply chain. Now that we're more familiar with supply chain management, we can elaborate on a few reasons why it is a recession-proof career path. Firstly, supply chain management cuts across all industries and every facet of life. Even in a recession, human beings require food for survival. Therefore, the wheels of the agricultural supply chain must continue to spin. Seeds will need to be purchased from suppliers. This falls under procurement or sourcing in supply chain management. Farmers will then farm and harvest their produce, which will need to be washed, processed, and packaged. The agricultural produce will then be transported via rail, truck, or by air to warehouses. This aspect falls under logistics and warehouse operations. At the warehouses, the agricultural produce will then be sorted for storage and transported to grocery stores across the country. The process of getting these agricultural produce from farms to the processing centers and onward to the grocery stores before they finally end up on our tables as food items is an example of a complex supply chain that requires careful management, whether or not we are in a recession. Therefore, people with supply chain management skill sets and experience remain relevant and employed even in a pending recession. The second reason that makes supply chain management recession-proof is because it plays a central and important role in our healthcare system. Healthcare is at the core of our existence as human beings, and whether or not there's a recession has very little to do with our decision to go to the hospital or to seek medical care or stop by the pharmacy to pick up medication. We expect medical devices to be at the hospital and available for our use, as well as for medication to be readily available at the pharmacy when we get there, and supply chain management makes this happen. Let's take a closer look at why supply chain management is central to our healthcare system. If you think about the medical equipment that doctors use in the hospitals, they need to be best in class to provide the necessary care for patients. So, suppliers have to source the components and raw materials needed for these equipment. The manufacturers need to build and assemble the equipment, and afterwards, they get tested and certified to the right quality. After that, the equipment is then transported to wholesalers and distributors who turn around and ship them to hospitals for our use. On the same note, the medication that we pick up from the shelves of our neighborhood pharmacies first have to be formulated from chemicals, then manufactured into the appropriate shape and dosage. They have to be certified for human use before they are packaged and stored. This medication will then make its way through the supply chain to a distribution center and finally arrive on the shelves of our preferred pharmacy. The supply chain process and activities we just outlined relative to the hospital equipment and medical devices will continue to happen on a daily basis, whether or not economics and the Federal Reserve are predicting a recession. And finally, another reason why supply chain management is a recession-proof career path is because of the need for transportation and logistics. Humans, animals, goods, and products need to be transported from one part of the country to another. And in the case of international commerce, they need to be transported across the world. For example, global trade and commerce continues to happen even in a recession. While intercontinental trade may slow down, it doesn't stop even if the world is experiencing a recession. And as such, supply chain management professionals continue to remain gainfully employed. Another lens through which we can look at transportation and logistics is global air travel and tourism. These industries rely heavily on supply chain professionals, from the acquisition and transportation of jet fuel to airports, to the supply of replacement parts for aircraft maintenance, as well as onboard refreshment and in-flight meals. Even in a recession, sporting events like Formula One, tennis Grand Slams, the Olympics, even the World Cup go on as scheduled. All these are made possible by transportation and logistics professionals, who are the invisible hands that support global air travel. Additionally, business and leisure travel continues to happen for those who can afford it, regardless of any recession pointing indicators. You know, the wealthy are certainly not going to put a hold on their vacation or travel because a recession might be on the horizon, and companies in many cases continue to invest in important projects and products irrespective of a recession. Over the course of this video, we've looked at 3 reasons why supply chain management is a recession-proof career path. Firstly, it supports the agricultural industry, which helps to ensure that there's food on our tables at home. Next, we looked at how our entire healthcare system and infrastructure relies on an efficient supply chain. And lastly, we highlighted the roles that transportation and logistics play in global trade and air travel. If you're interested in pursuing a career in supply chain management, I've put together a set of detailed career guides to help with the decision-making process. And this includes a step-by-step transition roadmap that will help you break into supply chain management, irrespective of where you are in your career journey. My hope is that you embark on a career path that is a great return on your investment and one that is ultimately rewarding for you. I've provided a link to the career guides in the description of this video, and as always, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so that you stay up to date on how supply chain management is shaping the world that we live in.